Hello again, everyone. Zack Attack is here with the attack line for Monday, August 26th, 2013. Excuse me there. Hope everyone had a great weekend this weekend. This week's the week before Labor Day, or as many kids like to call it, the last full week of summer. But I hope everyone had a great weekend last weekend. Like I said, I had a good weekend last weekend, besides yesterday's VMAs, which I'll talk about that. And the ratings for last night's VMAs. 3 gigs I had Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, back to back to back. 2 movie nights, 2 outdoor movie nights at 2 different locations kicked off my weekend. Thursday, I did an outdoor movie night, the last one for the Romeo Washington Bruce area at the Washington Township Park, where a lot of things happen. And the movie was Brave, all kids movies, because it's a family event. It was partly cloudy, they kind of kept people away because they thought it was going to rain, but never did. So the attendance was kind of decent, just because, even though it didn't rain, it was still, I think, kind of threatened people not to come, because there was not a lot of. The attendance was decent, better than last week's attendance. Last week we did the Romeo movie night at the community center. The attendance was horrible because of Peach Fest. But this week's one in Washington, the last one we did, wasn't that bad of an attendance. Still a decent amount of people, but more than last week, more than the previous week, and it was a decent night. There was a birthday party there, but the next day we did a outdoor movie night in Ray Township. That was the best one we've done all year, out of all of them. Ray Township I do because the woman who won Washington Parks and Rec, Joyce, also won Ray, so we did that one. And it was like in this big giant park in Ray Township, Walcott Road area, 29 Mile and Walcott area. And great open area for the party, and it's a great location for it because it's open, there's no separation. We blared it to hell, and everyone loved it. We had the longest dance set, the best dance set in weeks. In any of these movie nights, we did like a 35-minute dance of Hokey Pokey, Chicken Dance, Cha-Cha Slide, Cupid Shuffle, all those dances worked a lot, and it was a fun night that night. It was the best one we done, the best attendance. It was beautiful, 85 and sunny. 75 and sunny is a perfect sunny day for that. Speaking of perfect and sunny, perfect for our Saturday gig. This past Saturday, I did a picnic for a special needs camp called the Robbins Nest. The Robbins family owns that place. It's at their house. They have the house as this place, and they have been big supporters of us. We've done a lot of gigs for the family in the past. They got me the special needs dances at the Washington Senior Center, so nice to see them have this camp. It's the first annual. I see a lot of potential in this. The attendance was pretty good. It was a summer picnic event. That's what it was. And they call it the end of summer party. It was more like a picnic. We tried line dancing, but it wasn't the vibe. They wanted summery, fun summer music. A lot of country. There were some Christian people, so they wanted some Christian music. But it was still a fun. It was like a fun picnic. It was a fun summer picnic party. It was a decent laid-back vibe, and hope to do it again next year. And hope they learn from their kinks. They got some kinks to work out. They need more activities. They had a petting zoo and bingo and all that, but they needed like lawn games and a volleyball court. So they got some kinks to work out. But we see potential in this and partnering up with these guys. So looking forward to future endeavors with these guys. This upcoming weekend, Peach Fest weekend. No, I'm not DJing Peach Fest. I wish. Screw the Lions Club. Fuck the Lions Club, Romeo. Didn't 1 year. Didn't let me do next year. Because of bullshit. Politics. But the events I am doing this weekend, I'm doing a Romeo High School football game. The first one of the season this Thursday. Tailgate, 5 to 7 at Barnable Field against Troy High School. And the only place I'll be DJing after that for Peach Fest weekend is exclusive to SB Orchards Saturday and Sunday. So I can't wait for that. Now, with Zack Attack News on with the entertainment news of the day. Starting with your number 1 movie. Still number 1 movie with the competition not doing so well. The Butler remains at number 1 with 16 million. And also Will the Miller stays put number 2. The new movies, bumped, especially the Motor Instruments, only making about 9 million. Also, The Ones and only made 8 million. Debut number 4 And the other big movie, Yo Next, the whole movie only made $7 million. The 3 new movies bombed the box office this week, made below $10 million. So it's a sad for that. But it's almost Labor Day, you know. Summer movie season's almost over. September's coming up. September's usually the worst month for movies. So see what happens there. But there you go. Still another movie, The Butler. Now, ratings on the VMAs have come out. Before we get to that, we have news. The biggest movie news of the weekend came about the long-rumored and finally happening Superman-Batman movie. Now, a few weeks ago it was rumored, and now it's official for a July 2015 release. Now, the guy who played Superman is set to be in a Superman movie as Superman. But there's rumors flying about who was going to play Batman. Since Christian Bale, the Batman who has been doing the last couple movies, will not be reprising the role as Batman. So everyone was like, who is going to be the Batman? Of all people they chose to play Batman in this Batman Superman movie, it had to be Ben fucking Affleck. Now I know Ben Affleck played Daredevil. That was a weird movie. But Ben Affleck as Batman, they just want him to be Batman because they want more money. They want a bankable actor to be in this movie. They don't want 2 little names. They want 2 big names because the guy who plays Superman, forgot his name, but he ain't that big of a draw. And I know Christian Bale could be a big draw too. Or get any other Batman people who have done it, like George Clooney or Val Kilmer, or Michael Keaton even. But Ben Affleck, come on. You know, it's just weird to see Ben Affleck donning the Batman gear. It's stupid. And there's been a backlash. You know, a lot of fans are, fanboys are going nuts. I've seen the last 2 Batman movies in the Dark Knight trilogy. They were pretty good. But seeing Ben Affleck as the Batman, it's just, it's weird. You know, I know he played Daredevil, but come on. So there you go. The movie released July 15th, 2015. And of course, the Batman Superman movie, the long-awaited movie, will feature, of all people, Ben Affleck as Superman. As Batman. Batman. I had to do that. Now on to the ratings on last night's VMAs. Now, if you didn't see my review last night, which is on this channel, I commented about a lot of things happening. Instant Reunion being sweet, but way too short, but sweet. And of course, Miley going cuckoo, cuckoo. I said in my review last night, I said, is it just me or was Miley Cyrus high on something? And I was like, not exactly. You know what I meant. People react the same way as I did. The ratings for the VMAs came in, and the ratings skyrocketed 66%. In my mind, I think the rumored NSYNC reunion might have helped the ratings, and a lot of people were performing. And and I think the NSYNC reunion, like I said, kind of helped in that the rumors were flying. I think that made people want to watch the broadcast back on Sunday nights, down on Thursdays like they've done in the last couple of years, totaled a 10 million viewers. 10 million viewers, 66% from last year's rating, for about 6 million on a Thursday night. So, I think they finally learned that it needs to be on Sundays, not Thursdays. 2011 is still the highest ratings. And of course, despite the ratings being so big, there was a lot of people out there who didn't like the VMAs. People Pacific conservative groups are very upset over the VMA showings, specifically over the scandalous clothing of some of the performers. Lady Gaga's clamshell bikini, and of course the outrageous and scandalous performance from Miley Cyrus has indeed outraged some conservative groups, including the Parents Television Council. And I got this to say. Aren't the VMAs supposed to be scandalous? Aren't they supposed to be sexy and not be like every other fucking award show? That's the point. I know the parents can say all they want, but here's the thing. The Parents Television Council say that, MTV's demanding our youth and using former child stars to feed them filth. Well, don't blame the networks. Blame you for letting your kids watch it. That's the thing. When I went to Cash a few weeks ago at Caesars Windsor, it was an all-ages show, but they had signs that said, it may not be appropriate for all audiences. You know what I mean? It's the parents' responsibility to let them choose what their kids should or not watch. Not blame the fucking networks. That's what they need to blame themselves. That's all I gotta say about that issue. Because that's what the PTC said. Like, they're like, oh, MTV's promoting this as a kids show and secretly feeding them filth. Well, parents need to be responsible for their actions. Be responsible for letting their kids watch what they watch. And no one cares because the ratings were high.
You almost done?
Almost. So,
What you doing with this?
so there you go with that. VMAs ratings are high. Conservative groups are hating it, but we don't give a hell because MTV, this award show was pretty decent last night, despite Miley's craziness. I think that's what everyone kept talking about was Miley's. The two most talked about things was the NSYNC performance and the Miley Cyrus performance. So there you go, VMAs. Now, speaking of a group who probably hasn't won any VMAs, let alone be nominated, but has performed at them. News on Bon Jovi. Now, bad news for Bon Jovi. This year's been a tough year for Bon Jovi this year. The What About Now tour, the album debuted at number 1, but the tour already hit speed bumps midway towards the beginning of the winter leg, as Richie Sambora was unceremoniously kicked off due to what they said was personal issues. And it started a little feuding between John Bon Jovi and Richie, as the rumor mill kept flying about the he said, she said bullshit about John hating Richie's drinking again. But what it came down to was money. The rumor mill really came to a head this past Thursday when it was revealed that Richie Sambora was kicked off the Bon Jovi tour just because of money. Because he was charging $2 million per show, whereas replacement guitarist, who's something X, Phil X, made only $10,000, in which he gets royalties from songwriting and much. So, if people were saying maybe he get kicked off the tour, maybe he can come back to the group in some way, shape, or form. Well, that ain't happening. The next day, Friday, was the official of Richie Sambora was not just fired from the tour, but fired from the band after 30 years, which he's no longer part of the band. In my mind, the fans lose. You mean, Richie and John, simple plea. It ain't Bon Jovi without Richie Sambora. Richie Sambora was an essential part of Bon Jovi, as essential as all the other members, especially John. John and Richie need to leave the fucking egos at the door and settle the differences. The fans are losing this. Because John and Richie couldn't get their act together. They couldn't settle anything. You know, the personal issues was between them two and money. You know, they couldn't settle it. And I hope some way, shape, or form that these two can finally get together like men and fix this one day. If NSYNC can get back together to be made for just 2 songs, Richie Bon Jovi can hammer things out and Richie can come back to the band. That's all I gotta say. So there you go. Richie Sambora is out of Bon Jovi. Well, Bon Jovi's without Richie, another 80s hard rock band, is thinking about retiring. As in an interview recently, Vince Neil, as he's doing some solo dates, he announced that Motley Crue is considering a farewell tour in 2014, stemming from various issues, especially Mick Mars's continuing health problems. Now, they said they're going to start the tour in Europe and America and go all around the world in 2014, following the Vegas stint this fall. Now, they're saying they're not going to be like Kiss, who they co-headlined with last year on the tour, which I was blessed to have been at, despite one day late. Ironically, it was the day of the VMAs last year. Anyway, because I mentioned the VMAs in this Atakline, that's why I said ironically. Anyway, they said it won't be like Kiss and like kept milking the farewell thing. They may say we'll do the farewell tour, maybe come back in 5 or 10 more years. So they're not gonna milk the farewell tour for what it's worth, like Kiss and Cher did. So there you go, Motley Crue set to do a farewell tour next year. If it is indeed it, wish them all the best, man. I've been a huge Motley fan all my life. Seen them twice, once with Kiss and once in '97. And they are an awesome band, so best of luck to them. Now, before I get to my WWE Raw preview for the evening, got some news coming into the day as I was getting the Atakline ready. Ted DiBiase has announced that he will not renew his contract with WWE. He wrote on his Twitter page that he will not resign because his contract's up this month. And he said thank you to the fans for everything. And it makes sense that Ted's leaving because they're not using him. You know what I mean? I see him on photos. I'm like, he's still in the fucking company? There's always those guys you see on the TV screen making like a cameo appearance. And they're like, oh my god, he's still in the company? And you saw Yoshitatsu and Zack Ryder on skits in the last couple weeks. They're like, wow, they're still hired? Same thing with Ted DiBiase. He was like, he's still in the company because you don't see him that much anymore. He got, I think it's because of his DUI. I think he had DUI a few months ago, a couple years ago. I think he got demoted for that. And I think he had talent. Come on, his dad's the $1 million man. He had potential, but he didn't fulfill it. And hope he comes to TNA and hope TNA pushes him to hell. Like every other WWE reject who goes to TNA. I like WCW. A lot of superstars are reacting to Ted DiBiase's leaving of the company when his contract at the end of the month. Tyson Kidd wrote on his Twitter, "Good luck, Ted DiBiase. Hope to see you soon. Some memorable and fun times together." Curtis Axel wrote on his Twitter, "Love you, brother." The Usos together said, "Hope everything goes well with you and your family. Good luck out there." And Justin Gabriel wrote on his Twitter, "Too gonna miss you, man." And Kurt Hawkins also commented saying, "Sad to see Ted DiBiase go. Enjoyed getting a little better these past few years. Glad we got to finally face off recently too. Good luck." The old saying goes, we wish Ted DiBiase luck in his future endeavors. So there you go. That's the truth. I hope he does well. I hope he goes to TNA and they push him better than WWE did. And he gets better too. Now, on with the WWE Raw preview for the night. It's going to be intense heading towards Night of Champions. Question number 4. Top 4 questions that must be answered tonight with number 4. Will Kane return tonight? Now, they're teasing Kane's return tonight after getting nailed in the head with the steel steps in a guillotine-like move last week at SummerSlam by the sadistic Wyatt family. So Kane will be out for revenge if he does end up coming back tonight if WWE's right on the teasing of it on their website. So there you go. And maybe Undertaker's coming back, but I doubt it. I don't know when he's coming back. Question number 3. Will 80 new matches be added to Night of Champions tonight? Now, I made some predictions for matches. While Van Dam is likely going to be the number 1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship, we saw that last week when he came out with Ricardo Rodriguez, stemming from one because he beat Alberto Del Rio for the World Champion in a non-title match. Things that inadvertent help from Ricardo when he got turned down by Alberto after that match. And the pay-per-view Night of Champions is in Michigan. We also got a possible tag team title match. Mark Henry and Big Show taking on the Shield. Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. Not Dean Ambrose, but Roman Reigns. And of course, Big Show declared it last week that he and Mark Henry are going to go for the title. So we'll see how that feud heats up tonight. And I don't know who's going to take on Ambrose now since RVD's not taking him on. And possibly Caitlyn and AJ rematch. And of course, pregame matches. So we'll see what goes on there. And any of the matches be added for the pay-per-view. We don't know what match still. The match that I knew was going to happen. That we all knew would happen after SummerSlam. Which I'll get to that as a number 1 question. Number 2. What will go down tonight between CM Punk and Curtis Axel. Now the continuing Punk-Paul Heyman feud continues on. Of course, last week, Punk and Axel had an impromptu fight, an unsanctioned fight, because Punk was not exactly medically cleared to wrestle. Despite limping a little bit, CM Punk left with the last word by delivering the GTS to Axel on the steel steps. Now tonight, these two will duke it out in a formal one-on-one match. Now, there's no one on whether or not the Intercontinental Championship shall be on the line. It could be on the line, but we have no word on if it will be a title match or not. I'm assuming it may be. So, see what happens with that. And I know Heyman will try to get involved. And probably Punk will be too infatuated to get his hands on Heyman. He'll be distracted and lose the match. We'll see what happens in that scenario. Question number 1. Will go down a continuing struggle with Daniel Bryan, Randy Orton, and the McMahons. Now, it was revealed on SmackDown that yes, Daniel Bryan will get his rematch at Night of Champions for the WWE Championship against Randy Orton, who of course got involved in the screw job finish of SummerSlam and Triple H, screwing Daniel Bryan. Like I said last week, it's not just Daniel versus Triple H or Daniel versus Vince McMahon. It's Daniel versus the entire McMahon family, as we saw on the championship ceremony. They had the Shield going in the ring because they kicked Daniel Bryan out of the arena earlier. And Daniel tried to get in. He did eventually get his hands on Orton, kind of, but not exactly, because he got to fight off the Shield. And then he was attacked by them and went in the ring just to eat an RKO. So now the rematch is on for the United Champions. And I hope DiBiase does get revenge. But I'm hearing a lot of rumors they're doing this because they want to make John Cena come back as Cena. Yay, the first war without John Cena in forever, because Cena's gone. Getting surgery. So we won't see him for a few months. Sheamus too. Good times in WWE right now. Should be a great time without these two guys around. But maybe they're going to bring Cena back as a really edgy face to fight off this new corporation of McMahon's taking over the company. You know, punishing people who are against them. You saw punishments to Dolph Ziggler and Big Show last week, putting them both in separate handicap matches, 3-on-1 against the Shield. We'll see who else gets punished tonight as this McMahon power tyranny continues on Raw tonight at 8 on USA Network. Of course, 8 Eastern, 7 Central. In Pacific, I think it's 6 or 5 or 6 Pacific. Check your local listings for other, like Mountain Time or whatever. That's it for the Atakline for today. I'll be seeing you all later for my War Review tonight, and with that in mind, you have all been attacked by the news from Zach. Thank you all very much for watching. See you all later. Yeah.